Wow.
Oh my gosh!
If you've seen my recent walking tour videos, you know I had an amazing time in China. The country's impressive infrastructure and friendly people left such a great impression on me. I'm already looking forward to visiting more cities like Nanjing and Harbin. But, as with anywhere, no place is perfect. Just like a coin has two sides, in this video, I'll share 6 things that I didn't like, or even found a bit frustrating during my visit. Make sure to stick around for the last one because it might really surprise you. And hey, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on more exciting content. All right, let's dive in. 1. The crowds. There are a lot of people. If you're from a place with wide open spaces, like the Midwest in the US, brace yourself for a serious reality check. China's population is around 1.4 billion, and in major cities, you really feel it. One of the most intense experiences I had was at Hongye Cave in Chongqing, a popular tourist attraction. Imagine being shoulder to shoulder with thousands of people, barely able to move. At one point, I found myself in a sea of people, completely stuck, just moving wherever the crowd took me, like a human conveyor belt. It was both fascinating and a little overwhelming. Public transportation is another place where you really notice the sheer number of people. The Chongqing Metro? Packed. Beijing subways during rush hour? Forget about personal space. If you think New York's subway is crowded, China takes it to another level. You have to move with precision, and if you hesitate, well, the crowd will move you anyway. Even some of the most scenic places can feel like a battle for the best view. In places like the Great Wall or West Lake in Hangzhou, getting a clean photo without a dozen people in the background is almost impossible, unless you go at sunrise. That being said, the crowds also bring a kind of energy that's hard to describe. There's a sense of life and vibrancy that makes the cities feel dynamic and exciting. But if you're someone who values personal space, you'll definitely need to mentally prepare for the experience. The food. Now hold on. I know what you're thinking. Wait, didn't you say you love Chinese food? And yes, Chinese cuisine is incredibly diverse and delicious. But let's be real, not every dish is for everyone. For example, when I was in Chongqing, I went for hot pot and specifically ordered a mild base. But even that was so spicy that my stomach protested for the next 2 days. Let's just say McDonald's became my best friend. That being said, food in China varies greatly from city to city, and you'll definitely find amazing dishes everywhere. Just remember, know your limits and don't overestimate your spice tolerance.
Milk. Add more milk.
I got it. When's it gonna melt out?
About 10 or 15 minutes
How
of
long's
this.
it been?
You got ice cubes?
I've never had an experience like that. Did I get the lines for you?
You got the lines perfectly. I'm so sorry.
Before we dive into 3, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Have you experienced any of these challenges in China, or do you have a different take? Drop a comment below, and if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe. It really helps the channel. Thank you. Traffic. This one's a natural consequence of having so many people. If you have a tour or an important event planned, make sure to budget extra travel time because traffic can be unpredictable. I've noticed that estimated arrival times on navigation apps aren't always accurate, especially during rush hours or in crowded areas, so definitely plan ahead. Another thing about traffic? Food delivery drivers. These guys are on a mission. I totally get it. Late deliveries can hurt their bonuses, so they drive like crazy. But because of that, they often ignore traffic rules, weave through lanes, and even ride on sidewalks. If you're crossing the street and spot a pack of delivery scooters coming your way, stay alert. That said, China's transportation infrastructure is impressive. The high-speed trains, metros, and ride-hailing apps are super convenient. But when it comes to city traffic, patience and caution are key. Number 4, language. Now you might be thinking, wait, didn't you say language shouldn't be a big issue? And yes, that's mostly true. Many younger people in China can handle basic English conversations, especially since English is a mandatory subject in schools. But here's the catch. In areas where people heavily speak local dialects, your trusty translation app might not be as helpful as you'd expect. Most of these apps are programmed to recognize Mandarin. But when I tried asking a local man for directions to the restroom, I quickly realized I couldn't understand a single word he said. My basic Chinese skills? Useless. So, what can you do? A few tips. Keep your hotel's phone number handy in case you need help, and consider writing down key phrases in Chinese, especially things like asking for directions or ordering food. Trust me, it'll save you some confusion. It's too vast. China is huge. It's basically impossible to explore every city in one trip. Even with the current visa-free policy, you'd still need multiple visits to scratch the surface. To put it in perspective, even spending a full week in a single megacity like Beijing or Shanghai might not be enough. There's just too much to see, from historical landmarks to modern attractions, hidden alleys, and endless food experiences. If you're planning a trip, be realistic. Trying to cram too many destinations into a short visit will leave you exhausted. Six, there are too many visitors. Now, this one might surprise you. Did you know that more than 1 out of 5 South Koreans visited China in 2024? That's an official stat, and I can totally prove it. In some areas of Shanghai, you'll actually see more Westerners and Koreans than locals. Tourism has absolutely exploded, which means famous restaurants, popular attractions, and even taxis can be harder to get. If you hate long waits or battling for a table at a must-try restaurant, be prepared. It's all part of the experience. That said, the upside is that China is more international than ever, so you'll find plenty of foreign-friendly spots, whether it's food, shopping, or nightlife. Just make sure to plan ahead and book in advance if you want to avoid the biggest crowds. So, there you have it. 6 things I didn't like about China. But let's be real, no place is perfect. And despite these challenges, my experience in China was amazing. The incredible infrastructure, friendly people, and rich culture far outweighed the downsides, and I can't wait to explore more cities in the future. What do you think? Have you visited China before? Or is it on your bucket list? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss my next adventure.